Fat isn't just there for a little extra booty. It's a completely biologically active hormone, and it causes a state of chronic inflammation when in excess. This increases stress, inflammatory markers, and cortisol, all leading to worsening insulin resistance, leptin resistance, and creating a vicious cycle. Tired of all the same weight loss advice out there? I'm Dr. Yaz, a triple board certified endocrinologist and obesity specialist, and today I'm going to teach you how to get fat, because believe it or not, it's the first step in learning how to lose weight. Today we're uncovering the truth about diabetes, the modern epidemic that indicates both the coexistence of diabetes and obesity as a disease, and how the incretin class of medications, when combined with the right lifestyle changes, could be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. The narrative around diabetes and obesity has been oversimplified for far too long, often reduced to a matter of personal choice or lack of willpower, and I'm here to tell you that's a load of nonsense. Your struggle with weight loss is totally not your fault, and there are non-invasive solutions to this problem. So if you're feeling you'll never lose weight or afraid of regaining it, you have a good reason to feel this way. See, half the US is predicted to be obese by 2030, and the truth is, we as a society, we're overeating. Obesity shows no signs of slowing down, and as our bodies over thousands of years have been conditioned to eat by making us over-hungry and over-craving, our ancestors lived in caves where the world outside was dangerous. So our genes and hormones had evolved over time to make us hungry enough to leave the cave, out in the wild, away from what was comfortable to get food. We were also conditioned to crave easy energy foods like sugar and carbs, which was needed for our ancestors to keep us alive. So our brains gave us huge hits of dopamine, also known as the happy hormone, as a response to quick energy. See, back then, sugar and carbs were not everywhere like they are now, like our nearest Dunkin' Donuts. So this was not a problem. Fast forward to now, and the food industry has exploded. And unfortunately, our genes, unlike the food industry, take thousands of years to evolve and are still making us over-hungry and over-craving. So, besides over-desiring unhealthy foods, sugar causes a spike in blood glucose, and the only way to keep it in the normal range is with something called insulin. See, the higher the sugar, the higher the insulin surge in our pancreas. Sounds wonderful, right? Just eat all the things and get a little insulin and everything's kosher, right? Wrong. This leads to insulin resistance, where our body can't effectively use insulin. On top of this, these calorically dense foods we crave cause major spikes in insulin, and this actually leads to a drop in our sugar, leading to hunger hormones like ghrelin to shoot through the roof. And this is why, if you've ever eaten dinner but then found yourself late night snacking at the fridge 3 hours later, you should know it's not your fault. See, your ghrelin and insulin are likely out of whack. So then we start gaining weight. And one of the problems with this weight is it makes our peptide-like hormone, leptin, which is in charge of satiety, also known as the counterpart to ghrelin, the hunger hormone, become resistant, just like insulin. And what's worse, fat isn't just there for a little extra booty. It's a completely biologically active hormone, and it causes a state of chronic inflammation when in excess. This increases stress, inflammatory markers, and cortisol, all leading to worsening insulin resistance, leptin resistance, and creating a vicious cycle. And that cycle doesn't just end with you. Did you know that maternal pre-pregnancy weight is a predictor for a child's future of struggling with obesity? It can even dictate when they become obese. Hence, instead of generational wealth, you wind up with generational obesity. So, if you're from a family that's obese, good luck not only not being obese, but creating kids who are obese without some major work and science to combat it. So, say you are able to combat it and lose about 10 to 15% of your body weight. Did you know your body will also try to fight you on this and starts reducing caloric burn in order to preserve the weight? Yet another way our body's trying to help, but it's just making weight loss and diabetes control a lot harder. So if it wasn't enough for your biology to be fighting you, there's also mindset shifts that affect our biology. You're totally being preyed on by marketing. The food industry is powerful. They target us, evoking emotional memories of food on commercials, triggering the amygdala, or what I like to call the savage part of our brain, which makes us crave foods. Fast food places package their food in colors like red, orange, yellow, because they evoke hunger. They put food smells in our candles, our makeup, causing us to literally think about food all the time. Companies like Starbucks, who of course do have healthier options like chamomile tea and cinnamon, are advertising pumpkin spice lattes every October, and everyone in social media is posting about it. The commercials advertise alcohol as the norm. Hell, they even had Serena Williams last year in the Super Bowl doing a liquor commercial. They make it seem like world-class athletes are drinking, when trust me, no world-class athlete that stands the test of time uses these substances. They want you to believe you can drink and eat anything you want and still be a superstar. So, understand, if you've been struggling, it's not your fault. So what does the incretin mimetic class of the drugs, most commonly known in the media as Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, and Mounjaro do? And why are they possibly the tool you never knew you needed? See, this class of medication helps with insulin resistance. Let me explain. This class primarily enhances the body's sensitivity to insulin, making insulin that is already present in the bloodstream work more effectively. They do this by encouraging the cells in the body to be more responsive to the insulin signals, preventing overeating due to blood sugar spikes and crashes. Another crucial aspect is that they slow down the emptying of the stomach contents into the small intestine, which in turn reduces the rate at which the carbohydrates are absorbed in the bloodstream after a meal. See, slower absorption helps to prevent those rapid spikes of blood sugar, which can contribute to insulin resistance over time. They also have an impact on appetite regulation. See, by slowing gastric motility, they make you feel full and satisfied more quickly, which can lead to reduced caloric intake. Weight loss in turn, which also helps with insulin resistance. This class can increase thermogenesis, also known as the production of heat, which is responsible for about 10% of energy output, i.e. more calorie burning, which is important for our body as it tries to fight our weight loss efforts, i.e. decreasing your energy output as we lose weight. So what does this allow? Time, something none of us have. It gives you time to think before we reflexively eat. Time to consider if we want the next bite because we're so conditioned to eat large portions. The time we need to permanently change the way we think about food, withdraw from sugar cravings, and reset our dopamine, happy hormone pathway without food. Honestly, from personal experience and also with my patients, it's like a blanket's taken off your eyes and you can finally use that front part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, which makes decisions, instead of the reflexive panic part of our brain, also known as the mid and hindbrain, which I like to prefer in terms of weight loss. I call it the ass part of the brain because it makes the worst decisions when it comes to food. It stops mindless eats and mistakes, so we have less setbacks and more motivation and, more importantly, momentum to continue the journey. See, the incretin mimetic class, they're very similar to our own hormones in our body, but the problem is when we secrete them, they only last 10 minutes in the body. So this is why you're totally satisfied after you eat, but not 3 hours later. What these medications do is deliver the incretins that last up to a week in the body. So it makes you more sensitive to the insulin you make on your own for long periods of time. If combined with a proper diet and handling of emotional eating and repairing the cells on a cellular level, losing weight, in my opinion, is an absolute guarantee, especially when working with someone who has a lot of experience with these medications. So remember, if for some reason you have a contraindication of these medications, such as a personal or family history of medullary thyroid carcinoma, or pregnancy, you can still lose weight with the right tools. There's certain diet techniques that can absolutely reverse what society and our food industry has done to our biology. There's also a slew of lab tests available to you to examine how to repair the damage this disease, like diabetes and obesity, have done, and there's solutions for this as well. So to wrap it up, these incretin mimetics are helping to manipulate our biology and combat what the food industry has done to our natural hunger responses over the years. It'll take thousands of years for our genes to catch up with this industry, and using this medication may be the tool you need to combat it now. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to follow for more. I'll see you in the next one.